My friend Todd used to have like a stalk of a mature hemp plant on his desk, and it's about this thick around.
Yeah.
Like if that was a piece of oak, it would be really heavy. But it's hard like this table, which is oak, but it's light,
a hemp
like
plant.
styrofoam. It's light like balsa wood,
Like balsa,
but
yeah.
it's hard. So it has incredible power like in its fibers. Its fibers are extremely unusual. So they make the most durable clothing, like canvas. The word canvas comes from cannabis.
But is this weed itself? Like
No.
if you have like a weed plant, it's not
No,
the same
well,
thing.
you can. It's the same thing, but you can also grow strains of it that are not psychoactive at all.
It's just a similar,
Exactly.
same family.
So they weren't growing it as a commodity for drug consumption. They were growing it to make paper. See, this is what happened. I'm taking you down the dark conspiracy of marijuana road. What happened is in the 1930s, they invented a machine called the decorticator. And what the decorticator did was it allowed you to effectively process hemp fiber easily and quickly. So when Eli Whitney came out with the cotton gin, now all of a sudden cotton became a very easy cloth to use, and people started wearing cotton ubiquitously, right? Well, what they used to use was hemp, because hemp is way more durable. I mean, crazy difference. Like I have a hemp jiu-jitsu gi made by Datsusara, and you can't rip this motherfucker. Like you grab it, and I've had one of my gis is like 8 years old. But if I have a cotton gi, 8 years in, that shit's torn apart.
Yeah.
So the only thing that goes on those things are the threads. And, I guess you can make hemp threads. I don't even know if they do. But the point is it's like far more durable. As a paper, it's a far superior paper. Far superior. Like it's much tougher. It's tough to, like I've had hemp paper demonstrated to me. And like, it's hard to rip, man.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's weird. It's a fucking alien plant. It really is. And when they invented this decorticator, well, William Randolph Hearst, who also owned Hearst Publications, who also owned paper mills, and Scientific America had on the cover of their magazine, Hemp, the new billion-dollar crop. And it was a show decorticator to him. It was all when they invented this thing. So the propaganda to stop the industry of hemp from exploding. DuPont came out with a chemical composition for nylon. There was all like they were going to use nylon for ropes. Hemp is what they always use for ropes. Hemp's what they use for sails. So that's a decorticator. That looks like a modern one.
It doesn't look too complicated either.
Well, it's basically like a wheel with some teeth to it, and it grinds the shit out of the hemp. And what they used to use back in the day was slave labor. So slave labor and, poor people would have to do all this incredibly backbreaking work to break down the fibers because they're so tough and durable. Well, then they invented this machine, and once this machine got rolling, they're like, oh, shit, let's start using hemp because it's way better. So all this forest cutting down shit
Doesn't need to be
completely unnecessary.
And it's because a paper guy wanted it.
100%. And a paper guy in the 1930s. And so he got together with Harry Anslinger, and they utilized all these people that they were using to make alcohol illegal. Excuse me, the prohibitionists during the time where they were going after, whiskey manufacturers and gin makers and these moonshine people, which is where NASCAR came from, by the way. NASCAR came out of moonshiners.
Driving quick.
Yeah, they needed a souped-up car. So they took those people who were just arresting people all over the country for alcohol, and then they sicked them on marijuana. And marijuana was never the term for cannabis.
Yeah.
Marijuana was a slang term for a wild Mexican tobacco, a totally different plant. So William Randolph Hearst starts printing articles in his paper about Mexicans and black guys who are smoking this new drug, marijuana, and raping white women. And then they fund Reefer Madness, and they fund these movies, these propaganda
films. And that's where
films.
that comes from.
All that
marijuana cigarettes.
It all comes from hemp. It all comes from the commodity, from them having this interest in paper. Research suggests that hemp is twice as effective as trees at absorbing and locking up carbon. So hemp is one of the fastest growing plants in the world. It can grow 4 meters high in 100 days. So in 100 days... 4
meters high in 100 days.
In 100 days, you have a new crop.
Yep.
It's the best fucking thing we can grow for paper, which is 40% of all the trees we're chopping down.